So we're out here today in New York City. I see you have a sign over here. It says, "Remember John McCain." Can you tell me a little bit more why you're out here and what it means for you to be out here?
I think it's kind of a disgrace that Donald Trump is coming here on Veterans Day, and I'm hoping this message will get to people who ordinarily might have a fairly blind loyalty to whoever's president, and maybe they'll think more about what he represents.
Absolutely. Can you tell me more about the things that, since it's Veterans Day, that you liked about John McCain? Why should we remember John McCain? What the things we should remember him for?
I wasn't really a big fan in some regards, so but I did feel like he courageous, and he fought for what he believed in, and he followed the military code of honor, and so I respect him for that.
Yeah, I see a lot of Democrats defending veterans, Democrats defending people like John McCain. It's interesting because I never thought they'd ever have a good thing to say about him, but certainly as soon as Trump dislikes something, that's gold. So what do you think about that? Maybe Democrats giving John McCain a lot of credit, after he passed away, but not really when he was around. They were saying horrible things about him when he was running for president.
I don't think so. I don't think that's the case, really. I certainly wasn't hearing Democrats saying horrible things about John McCain. So
absolutely. And if you had the choice, you wouldn't want Trump to be here today to give the talk here on Veterans Day?
I would like him to actually face what he's doing to this country, and so
he's a great president.
That's.
So what's he doing to this country then? To expand a little bit more about on that.
I think we can probably end the interview for now.
Absolutely.
I don't think this is a good venue.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. We're in New York City. Behind us, Trump just gave a speech. It's Veterans Day. Can you tell me a little bit more about why you're out here, what it means for you to be out here?
Well, it's my home. It's America. I'm supposed to be out here. Got to represent. If you don't love America and you here, you should leave.
Absolutely. So it's Veterans Day. A lot of people on the other side of the aisle say that Trump doesn't appreciate the veterans, the way he spoke about our veterans, the way he spoke about John McCain. What do you think about that?
Well, maybe they had to talk to him and try to get him to work with him more so they could try to get what they want to get from him.
Absolutely. So it's Veterans Day. It doesn't feel like in America we respect the vets as much as we should.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? And why don't you think we respect the veterans like we should?
The problem is nobody represents and feels that they're American themselves. So once everybody starts feeling that they're American, everybody will start showing more unity, more love, and seeing the diversity that we're all together in this. This is USA. People have fought for us to be here in this position. For me to be right here, people have died. So I appreciate my ancestors, everybody's ancestors, for working that hard to get me here, to get you here with this microphone to talk to me, for Donald Trump to give that speech, to be here, to show the love to the people.
Absolutely. The mainstream media would have you believe that Trump is an inherently very racist man.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Why do you think people are calling Trump racist, and do you think he is racist?
Well, I feel like the problem is people don't see that he's a human being at the end of the day. So people just trying to always try to stigmatize a person's character when regardless, you got to accept them for who they are, and we all people. You know what I'm saying? Show the love, man. Absolutely. Where the love at? Yeah, we American out here. Stop hating. Show the love, you heard? With the pinkies high, and we keep moving together, you heard?
Absolutely. I had one last question.
Please do.
I know black people overwhelmingly vote in the Democrat year after year.
Yeah.
You're a black man, obviously, with a MAGA hat out here. How can we have more black people vote for Trump if that's the right thing to do?
All right, look, man, you watch your mouth when you call me black. Because right here, we not black, we American. And in America, we don't see no color. We see Americans, you heard? Yes. My family, my people. So anybody call me black, Spanish, listen, that's a language. Watch your mouth. We out here as an American, so show the love.
Absolutely. In conclusion, was there anything else you wanted to mention?
Picky hot to the gods, show the love to the people, you heard? America, we gonna keep working strong. Every year, every day, we gonna keep grinding, showing the people the love, and we gonna be hopefully together and feel more American every day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. So we're out here today in New York City for Veterans Day. Trump speaking behind us, but you're not satisfied with Trump and how he's been treating the troops. This says Cadet Bone Spurs. Can you tell me a little bit more about why you're out here?
Well, I think it's a terrible disrespect to all of the men and women who died for our country in wars to have a four-time draft dodger speaking, dishonoring them. And I'm here to voice my displeasure.
Yeah. So I know Trump had a feud with John McCain, and a lot of people were slamming Trump because they were saying, John McCain, a veteran. What do you think about John McCain?
I don't like didn't like his politics whatsoever, but you have to respect what the man did, for his country. He was, a POW, how you can call somebody you're not proud of them because they got caught is a disgrace. And the big issue I have is less than a week ago, a judge has ordered the Trump Foundation to repay $2 million that they stole that was supposed to be charities given to the veterans.
Yeah. So I know it's the 100th anniversary of the parade, and this is the first sitting president to come speak at the Veterans Day Parade in New York City. Does that mean anything to you?
The irony is unbelievable. There are many who fought, I'm sure. Why do you have the four-time draft dodger speaking? He should be the only one who's not allowed. Everybody should be welcome, but a terrible disrespect to the people who died for this country.
I had one last question. Feels like nowadays Americans don't respect veterans as much as they used to. Do you feel that, and how could we change that?
That's a tough question. I agree with you. I believe that the poor guys who are going overseas now, especially now, I feel that they are basically fighting for Dick Cheney, Halliburton, Raytheon, Boeing, for the corporation.
Couldn't you have said that about any war, really?
This one specifically, because I don't see any threat of attack by any of the 9 countries that we decided to destroy.
Absolutely. So why don't you think people respect vets in the modern day?
I wish I knew. I don't have an answer to that. They should, but maybe because you have people like this, I don't know.
Between the two parties, who do you think respects the vets more?
I don't know. I mean, the Republicans claim to, but yet, the way I look at it, if you want to support the troops, stop sending them to fight and die needlessly.
Well, Trump just pulled him out of North Syria. Do you support that decision that Trump made?
I do, but I don't think we should have been there in the first place. To betray.
But that wasn't his fault.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But to betray the Kurds like that, it was terrible. But at one point, I think we should get out of there.
Absolutely. In conclusion, was there anything else you wanted to mention?
No, just respect your veterans and thank you for the time.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll do that.
Can I get an interview? Sure. Come on, bro. You're in the whole outfit. I see you have a sign over here. It says Operation Bone Spur. Talk to him.
We're here today to honor vets without bone spurs.
Do you think Trump respects and honors the veterans?
I don't believe so, sir.
And what do you think?
I don't believe so.
I know this is the 100th anniversary of the Veterans Day Parade here in the United States, and this is the first time we had the sitting president come to speak. Does that matter at all?
Did you say the shitting president?
No, the sitting.
No, I thought he said, he didn't say that. Does that matter at all?
I think a little bit, at least symbolically.
Symbolically because he's here, or symbolically because he's doing a photo op, or why is that important?
Well, it's important to show resolve with the troops, right? I don't think I thought it would be important if Obama did the same thing, but I couldn't imagine Obama doing the same thing, right?
Were you in the war? Did you serve?
No, I did not serve.
He had a bone spur, allegedly, from a very friendly doctor. The doctor's daughter years later said, he told me he didn't have a bone spur, but the doctor was living in a Trump property and doing business with Trump, and it looks like he got him out of the military. It looks like they cheated.
Absolutely.
So quid pro quo.
So it's quid.
And you know who said that? General Mattis was referred to the bone spur deferment. He said, I served. And Trump had a bone spur.
I know a lot of people are frustrated with the way Trump's spoken about veterans. Now I'm specifically talking about John McCain. Are you guys like John McCain supporters out here?
So one more question, too. We want to get the photographers in here.
We need you to step aside.
Come on, John McCain fans? John McCain fans? No, you can't tell me if you guys are John McCain fans.
Aside, sir.
We're trying to get some photos.
Freedom of the press to take pictures.
Thank you, gentlemen. So we're out here today in New York City for Veterans Day. Trump's due to give a speech soon. I see you're decked out in Trump gear, and your sign says, "No socialism,
Yes.
radical lefts destroy USA."
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about why you're out here, what it means for you?
I love the socialist. I'm Asian American. I'm from China, and I think the United States shouldn't go that way. The left radical. The radical the left radical wing is offer the people free this, free that. But every American dream and better life based on the working hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know
exactly.
many Democrats say Trump's not a real supporter of the veterans. You know, he didn't respect John McCain, and he doesn't talk nicely about veterans. Do you think there's any problem there with how Trump talked about veterans?
Some American people are very naive. They hate Trump. But I'm an Asian American. I'm a middle class. I think the United States should welcome the people, welcome the legal immigrant people, get a high educated like me, and who really respect United States law and enforcement and make a contribution to this great country.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that Trump did the right thing. My family member definitely support the Trump. And Trump is not perfect, but he did the right thing, and he just want to make the American first. He is not perfect, maybe the personality, but he is real patriotic from my heart.
So he's not perfect, but can you tell me some of his accomplishments that you really like about Trump, and if reelected, what you'd want to see him do in his second term?
Oh yes, because I have 20 years ago, I have 4 years study in France, and the France is very good radical left. And now 3 years ago, I visited back my classmates and my professor, and the French culture and the civilization was going down. That's a tragic. I have 3 kids. I don't want this tragedy happen in the United States. So personally, I must speak out and just do something to defend our great United States tradition value for my kids, for my community, for this great country.
Absolutely. Thank you so much
you.
for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
grew up in the socialist country. I know the. Yeah, I know what the socialist. And the Sanders say, I offer you this, offer you freedom, and nothing free, and every wonderful life based on the working hard.
Absolutely.
That's true. Yeah. If you are 19, 18 years and 50 years, why you want to take social benefit that you hate, right? This is a United States tradition value. I really like this great value. I really like this American dream. So this is why I come to here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you hear about when the Nazis had the big rally at Madison Square Garden?
No.
In the before World War II, the Nazis, the American Bund, had a huge. They had 20,000 people at Madison Square Garden, and like 500,000 people outside. 17,000 cops to protect the Nazis, and one Jewish custodian came up on the stage to say, like, you guys are like fucking nuts, like they were really Nazis, and he got his ass kicked. And I'm like, fucking hero. And so I came with my mega hat, and I'm like, fucking hero, but no, I'm not.
Interesting. So I know Trump's due to get here. We have some protesters behind us. Can you tell me why you guys are out here? Why the protesters are out here?
The impeachment, and it's just so much, but it's so horrible that he's a draft dodger, and he's like so like unhinged, and he's like telling the military to do shit that's illegal and unwise.
What kind of illegal things do you think he's telling the military to do?
Well, there's Ukraine, and there's when he turned his back on the Kurds, putting kids in cages. Patrolling the border, not a military thing.
I want to ask you about the pulling out of the Kurdish area in northern Syria. Are you a fan or not a fan of that move by Trump, and why?
Oh, that was just stupid ass. First of all, the Kurds were our friends. And the Kurds, they had a good like anarchist, like mutual aid sort of thing going on. Like everything had to be like run by a man and a woman. And they were like really making like a positive change, like really showing people how shit should be, but also they were the ones who like got ISIS.
From a bring the troops home perspective, though, why wouldn't be pulling out of northern Syria be a good
It's
thing?
exactly what the Russians wanted, and what I can't pronounce his name. The shithead who was in charge of Turkey.
Erdogan.
That's
man.
That's exactly what he fucking wanted.
Absolutely. So should we like stay there indefinitely though? Because some people say we shouldn't be like the world police and in different parts of
can't.
the earth. But
You know what?
can we have it both ways?
We at this point, we can't, and it's unfortunate, but you kind of got to go like the world you're living in.
Sure.
So we got to, what we should be doing is pulling the fuck out of the Middle East by getting off of fossil fuels.
Sure.
And we should start retreating but helping like hearts and minds as opposed to guns and bullets. Because but you can't just like totally like fucking walk away. Look what they're fucking doing to the Kurds. They're fucking genociding them. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse, but
That's
I,
okay.
I'm not
question.
Kurdish.
Okay, I had one last question for you. Since it is Veterans Day, I want to follow up with like a Veterans Day themed question. Do you think the veterans are getting the amount of respect that they deserve in our modern day America?
Not on the great amount. We have a very big problem that the military as like culture is like kind of split off. Sure. So we have like this kind of hero worship of them, but not a lot of people actually know somebody who's active military or a veteran, or in my case, like so weird. I am a Gold Star family. People don't even know what the fuck that means these days. I'm like, did you see the movies about World War II and people put the Gold Star up and the widow is crying? Like, dude, not thank you for your service, thank you for your sacrifice.
So why don't we respect the troops? Why don't you think people respect the troops in our modern day America?
No, I think too many over respect them because they think that's like the way you're like oh blah, 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 even if they're not in the military, like this like hero worship. And then we're fucking them over by like not giving them benefits. My dad's a vet. I won't get started with the VA. Just like we fuck them over every way possible, but then we're like, oh, they're the greatest. Like, you know, bow down because like they love like the warrior culture, but they don't love the results.
Absolutely. Just in conclusion, was there anything else you wanted to mention?
I'm really big with Extinction Rebellion, and people should really check that out because of all the fucking shit in this world, it's the environment is like 1 big zillion times worse than people are letting on, and if we don't get our fucking act together on that, everything else is fucking moot and worse.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank
Anyway,
you.
I hope I don't end up on some.
He's not really fake. He's not really journalist.
I see you have a sign comparing Nazis and Democrats. Can you tell me a little bit more about your sign, why you're out here, what it means for you to be out here?
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know if it's getting on camera fully. Is it?
Sure, yeah, no, I see that they're both socialist, they both don't have guns, they're both pro-censorship, but do you think this is actually a good comparison? This is a joke, right?
No, it's real. Democrats are pretty much exactly like the Nazis pre-concentration camp, like right before they started that.
Sure.
That's the Democrats. It's like they want total control of the country, they want to overturn our elections, they're anti-gun, they're anti-freedom, they're pro-censorship, they control the media. Like you look at North Korea, you look at the Soviet Russia and how the dictators there control the media, they tell them what to do. And thanks to WikiLeaks, we know the Democrats do that. So
I know the Nazis were very nationalistic and racist. Do you think the Democrats are very nationalistic or racist?
the Nazis weren't necessarily nationalistic in the way that instead of just protecting Germany, they went out and they tried to conquer the whole world. They wanted to bring their ideology to every country, sometimes by force, sometimes through other methods. That's kind of what the Democrats want. And racism, well, I mean, they literally have CNN that has open racist Don Lemon on there. So the dudes, they have a racist conspiracy theorist, Rachel Maddow. They promote racism on a regular basis. There's studies that show that Democrats literally, like, what's the word? They downgrade their words to like a lower level of English when talking to black people because obviously they think black people are stupid.
Yeah. I also want to talk a little bit about Trump. A lot of the conversation surrounding Trump recently has been around impeachment. I know when polled, 50% of Americans when polled say they want to proceed with impeachment. Why do you think that is?
Well, first, it's not necessarily 50% because that's Fox News. First, they always call Fox News fake anyway, but you go to the poll and they represented the statistics. They polled like 14% of independents when they make up 40% of the country. So they overrepresented Democrats in that poll. It's around 40 or lower. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's a little lower. And
so, I mean, even if it's 40, why do you think so many people are interested in impeachment?
Well, obviously all the Democrats are going to be, and they're about 31% of the country. So
Democrats are 31% of the country?
Yeah, that's the official statistic. You can look that up.
Yeah, no, I'll trust it. So, I mean, Trump's had Ukraine Gate, Russia Gate, the Stormy Daniels stuff. Do you think any of this stuff is improper?
I mean, all of these racist conspiracy theories that they constantly lob at him, they talked about birtherism as a racist conspiracy theory. They pushed this Russia crap for 3 years, and then Robert Mueller was like, actually, that didn't happen. He didn't collude.
Sure. Well, why do you think people thought that Obama was born in a different country?
I mean, I can't say why any individual. I can't speak for other people. I can see why he would be bolstering those claims when he seems to support the interests of other countries above America. Mm-hmm. He was like giving more money to Iran than he cared about America. So, I mean, when he helps these Middle Eastern countries so much more than he helps his own people, it can bolster that claim.
Absolutely.
But I'm more interested why people would believe, without evidence, that Donald Trump colluded with a foreign country to rig the election when the only person even claiming that was Obama making unsubstantiated claims.
Yeah.
And then, when Robert Mueller rightfully said that it never actually happened, actually he didn't collude with Russia, they didn't even stop and think, maybe the Democrats are lying to us.
Yeah. I want to piggyback off of the most recent scandal, the Ukraine Gate scandal. Trump was telling Rudy Giuliani to go look after Joe Biden for supposed corruption dealing with Hunter Biden. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Do you think there was some nepotism there? Are you fearful of nepotism being so involved in our politics nowadays?
I am fearful of, there's 4 House Democrats and their kids all work on Ukrainian gas companies. That's a little strange, and I think that it's absolutely concerning, and we should absolutely be looking into this, and we should absolutely have an investigation. And it's kind of concerning that Democrats are trying to obstruct justice so much by trying to impeach the president for investigating this possible corruption.
I wanted to follow up there and ask, I know Trump's kids are involved in many political aspects. Jared Kushner's involved, Ivanka Trump's involved, Don Jr.'s involved in different aspects of Trump's presidency. Do you think it's appropriate to have his kids in those powerful positions?
I don't think it's necessarily inappropriate. I mean, Chelsea Clinton was helping her mother the whole time.
Sure.
And
if that's nepotism and we're against that, why wouldn't we be against Trump having all the kids involved as well?
I'm more against the idea of Joe Biden pressuring and committing quid pro quo to pressure the Ukraine to not investigate his son for possible corruption. It's not necessarily nepotism.
Sure.
I don't personally like Jared Kushner. I think he's a little too liberal.
Sure. But Ivanka Trump was at the Helsinki summit. What qualifications does Ivanka Trump have to be there besides being Trump's daughter? So does that stuff bother you, and is that nepotism? Just like how we complain about Hunter Biden, right?
It's not necessarily the nepotism. That's the thing. I understand Trump's position hiring his kids. He has a lot of people obviously betraying him in his own administration. Who else can you trust?
But could two things be true at once? Trump may not be a bad guy, but having his kids on board and part of the administration or bringing them to summits or something is still bad. And we don't like nepotism wherever we see it.
Personally, I wouldn't have a problem with Joe Biden having his son advise him, except for the fact that his son was an arrested criminal.
I would, but yeah, I mean.
But the main issue I have is the fact that Joe Biden pressured the Ukraine to not investigate his son for corruption. It wasn't nepotism, it was blatant corruption.
Absolutely. And just quickly in conclusion, was there anything else you wanted to mention?
I think that Americans really need to rise up and stand up to radicals like Alexandria Cortez who want to obstruct justice and
the radical party won't destroy this great country.
Yeah.
I'm from the socialist country. I know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you.